I'm super competitive and I'm always comparing myself to other agents, but other agents maybe do their business a little bit differently than I do it. I think you find your niche, whatever that may be, and you run with that niche. I am doing relocation business. Again, I stepped away from it. I thought I was gonna step away from it permanently, but they just pull you back in, so I'm back in doing relocation. And then, things that we've always been taught, working our SOI, I never stopped working that. My geographic farm, it all just came together in 2024, really. Things that I've been working for years and years and years that didn't come together in 2023 came together in 2024. I went from one brokerage over to Keller Williams, and so it was really rebranding. We spent a lot of our time rebranding, getting the systems ready, because KW, I feel like, has the best CRM and the best systems that you can put in place, but it took us a little bit to get all of our contacts into that system and get our marketing going. And a lot of it was because we were rebranding. So I think that put me a good 6 months behind. And then once we got caught up with that, with the rebranding, getting our marketing in place, then we started really marketing, and we just hit it heavy, really heavy, all of our marketing. To our SOI, I've done door knockers for years in my geographic farm, just put all those things in place and started working it. I was just lucky in my career to stumble upon relocation. I had a great mentor that brought me into her fold. She was looking at retiring, and she said, I need somebody to take over for me. So she was just a great mentor as far as relocation. I was a director a couple of times for a couple of different companies, but a 9-to-5 job just is not for me. So I finally stepped away from that, but then became one of the top relocation agents in the Valley. And I like to call myself a relocation nerd because I just speak relocation language. I love it. I just had a deal recently where I had to help the listing agent on the other side in Nebraska get through relocation for a buyer I have here in Utah. Those are just relationships that I've built over the years. And again, I was going to step away from it, but then partnered up with somebody I partnered with years ago, and that business came back to me. And then as far as my SOI goes, I've just never stopped working my SOI. I feel like right now it's a little bit easier because of social media. And with social media, I don't have thousands and thousands of followers, but people will comment all the time about our posts. Even other agents. I saw some agents that I used to work with the other day, and they're like, oh, your social media looks great. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't get a lot of followers. I don't get a lot of likes, but I know that the people I care about seeing it are seeing it. So I have one team member that does all the content. So she does social media posts 3 times a week. She does our newsletters once a month. So that's very consistent. We put that on the GE Group page, so on the team page, but then we also take that content and put it on our own pages. Because now that I've built a team, it's a little bit different for the GE Group. I want everybody to build their own brand as well. So it's branded the GE Group, but they need to get their own business. So she posted on the GE Group, and then we put it on our own pages as well. And then we fill it in with our own reels or videos or whatever we have for social media. I'm a big Kenny Chesney fan, and he really has a song that's called Better Boat, and it's like, it really talks about there are things that you can't control, but you just try and build a better boat. So that's what I'm doing. I just try to be better next year. Look at the things that didn't work this year and make it better for next year. With that being said, I took a trip to Africa, and I was really busy. I've been busy all year, and leading up to that trip to Africa. And Mariah, my assistant, took care of everything while I was there. I came home and closed those deals, and then I felt like business stopped for about 5 minutes, and I panicked a little bit. So then I got my marketing back in place. This is what we're going to do. So I really am prepared for next year because I had that 5-minute breather to get prepared for next year. And I know because of last year, I guess that's a big lesson I learned about 2023 is you have to keep on it. You can't just say, oh, I've had a good year and I'm just going to live off referrals. It's not going to happen. You just have to keep doing the things that you're doing consistently, and the things that work for you. You have to keep doing them consistently. I'm trying to build business in St. George a little bit, do a little bit of business down there because I can fly down there for free. I have a house down there, so I go down there a little bit. But as far as the team goes, I just really want to help my team succeed. And again, their success may differ from what my success is, but whatever their success is, that's what I want to help them do, to see that success. And again, I tell them, just because you're in real estate, don't expect people to come find you and say, oh, you're in real estate, can you help me? You have to stay top of mind. So that's calling people, that's posting it on social media, that's emailing people, all the things that we do, and whatever you feel comfortable with. For me, I'm not a cold caller. I will warm call and I will call people I know, but I'm not a cold caller. But if that works for you, then do that. And that's what I tell my team. But you have to stay top of mind, and don't assume just because 3 people know you're in real estate that those 3 people are going to use you, because those 3 people probably know another 3 people that are in real estate. So you have to stay top of mind. So we do have a marketing plan built out, and Command helps us with that a lot. You know, touching people, making sure we're top of mind. But that's the biggest thing, is just staying consistent with what we're doing. Now, I did have a little bit of a change in my geographic farm that's going to allow me to touch people in one area a little bit more. So I'm really actually looking forward to that. It'll help me get to know these people a little bit more. Well, I think if you are doing something that doesn't work, then it's maybe time to rebrand. I can't remember who was rebranding, but it might have been Intermountain Healthcare or somebody. It was funny because the other company I was with, a marketing person had said, oh, that's like marketing 101, you never rebrand. And I thought, that's not true. You should always, like, every so often rebrand, because you got to change with, like, we have to change with the market, right? So for my branding, I just wanted like instant identity. So I have a listing right now, and my dear client came out, she's like, look at your sign, like you can't really read the GE group on it. And I said, you only need to read the GE group one time, because now you know this is my logo. So now when people see my logo, they don't need to read the GE group. They know what my logo looks like. It's the house with the teal color inside of it. And every time they see that, they're gonna know that that's the GE group. That's what I was looking for as far as my branding go, was just instant identity. So that now when people see my logo, they know that that's the GE group. So I'm always about branding, like not, when I'm marketing, my sphere of influence, you know, reaching out to people, that's trying to get business, but just marketing to me is letting people know my brand, so that when they see my brand out there, they know exactly what it is, and they can just identify that brand. When I was interviewing, when I knew I was leaving my old brokerage, and I interviewed with a lot of companies and spoke to Robin and Carrie, and then came over here, and I wouldn't say a big part of it, but one of the deciding factors was they were building out this office at the time, and it's close to my house, and I loved what they were doing with this space. Met with Emily, and then once I met with Emily and then I met you, I just felt like it was more team building. I don't know how to say this. You know, it's more women empowerment, and I'm not like a super feminist or anything like that, but I felt like I wasn't being shut down because I was a woman. I felt like I was being more empowered. And then also I felt like there were so many tools available. I mean, I'm super ADD, so it's a good thing I have Mariah, because she can keep all those tools in place. That was as far as the relationships go. And then when I came over, it was hard. I'm not gonna, you know that. It was hard for me, because the friendships I had at my other brokerage were decades old. And so it was hard to leave, but there were so many people that embraced me and made me feel welcome here. And it was difficult in the beginning, but it only took a few months, and I felt very welcomed here. Like, with having a team, I've really loved mentoring. And with that being said, I've had people in my SOI who know of people that are becoming agents, and they're like, can they talk to you about, you know, how did you get your business started? I just went to lunch yesterday with a good friend of mine. He has somebody that's working with him and his company, but she has a real estate license. She just hasn't done it full time, and she's in Utah County, and she just looked for advice. And that's like so flattering to me to be able to give advice. And I always say, and I'm not saying this because I want people to be on my team, but that is the #1 thing I would change. When I started in the business, I would have joined a team and had somebody to mentor me, somebody to talk to, somebody to throw things to, that answer questions. I think that's the biggest thing, is I would have joined a team, just have somebody to mentor me. But I do enjoy mentoring, and I don't think having a team at my old brokerage would have worked as well as it has here at Keller Williams. And it just built organically. That wasn't my plan, really, to build a team, but it just so happened, and I've really enjoyed that.